A while back, I did an adjustable dumbbell ranking video. And if you watch that video, you know that I gave the Nuobells the 3rd place spot on that list. But I also mentioned that I had no personal experience with those dumbbells. I had just done a lot of reading on them, watched a few videos on them, kind of looked at the specs on them, and then used that as my judgment for putting them on that list. Well, the fine folks at Finer Form reached out to me and offered to send me a pair of Nuobells for review. So we're gonna take a look at those today, and we're gonna see if getting some hands-on experience with these dumbbells can bump them up the list, or if they're gonna stay where they're at that number 3 spot. But before we get into the video, hi, my name is Ryan Treadaway, founder of TreadawayTraining.com, where we turn skinny guys into jacked men. If you want more information on body transforming training and nutrition topics every Sunday, along with the occasional product review as well, consider subscribing. All right, so we've got Nuobell Athletic Innovation. So it has step-by-step how to use the Nuobells, but they're pretty self-explanatory, so we don't need that. Oh no, I opened them upside down. Nah, we'll make this work. I might have made a mistake. Oh no. Ah, oh, yep. Definitely should have flipped the box. Okay, so now I think I'm gonna have to slot these in there one at a time now. Okay. So there's that. This is a pretty nice little cradle here. It has a, I'm not sure what metal this is, but it's nice and got a brushed finish on it. It's very bright. I will see how that holds up over time to see if that rusts or if that stays good. It has the Nuobell logo laser etched on both sides. That's really, really cool. Little safety warning, we'll definitely pull those stickers off. So now let's slot the weights into the cradle. Keep them all together. I'm not sure. Is that gonna stay? So each of these weights have a little tab on them, and that's how they slot together so easily. So there's a plastic tab and then a recess for the plastic tab of the other weight to go into. And so that way they can lock together like that. And then there's a matching plastic tab on each end of the cradle to make sure that they sit down in the cradle correctly. And it's broken on this end. I'm gonna take these weights off and show that to the camera there. I don't know how much that's gonna affect it. I mean, I think it should work fine, but we'll see how that works. I'm just realizing that I goofed. That's the outside-most one, and that's why it's flat on your leg. Let's flip this around. So this should go this way. I got it. I got it figured out, guys. It only took me 5 minutes. There we go. Okay, so we have the handle, and the way it works is very simple. So all you do is you slide the dumbbell right there. There's a little number indicator right here on top. And then all you have to do is turn this little knob to get the next number. 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, and 80. There you go, 5 pounds all the way up to 80 pounds a piece. Now, initial impressions, there are a few things that I definitely love about these dumbbells, and there's a few things that I feel are drawbacks about these dumbbells that I can tell you right off the bat without giving them any further use. I like the cradle. I love that the handle is knurled. That's something that you don't get with a lot of adjustable dumbbells. I know the power blocks, you don't get a knurled handle. The Bowflex, you get a partially knurled handle, which is a really weird handle. I talked more about that in that dumbbell ranking video. And those are just some of the ones that I can think about off the top of my head. So the knurling's not super aggressive, but it feels pretty grippy though. And it's grippy enough for the amount of weight that you have here. It's not gonna be slipping around. I feel like it's a pretty good handle. The knurling looks pretty clean. Just from kind of looking at it, it's a pretty flat knurling. It's kind of got the volcano style knurling on it. It's a pretty good handle. And another benefit, one of the biggest benefits, is the Nuobells are one of the few dumbbells that feel like a fixed dumbbell in your hand. Because of the way they're designed, they're completely flat on both ends of the dumbbell. And so then when you take it out of the cradle and you set it down on your knees like you're about to do a bench press, you don't have some type of stop sticking out the end like you would with some other options that I have here somewhere, such as Olympic dumbbell handles. And so when you have those sitting on your knees, they're very uncomfortable. Even worse if you have spin lock dumbbells, because the shaft is going to be even thinner. It's going to be 1 inch versus the 2 inch. And so it's going to be even more painful sitting on your knees. And when you have an Olympic handle or a spin lock handle, the length is fixed. It's always going to be as long as it is. And so even if you were just using the handle for, to do 5-pound weight exercises, it's still this long. Or if you were using, 10 pounds or 15 pounds or 20 pounds, it's always going to be this long. Whereas with this, if you want to go 5 pounds, then it's not very long at all. So it's only as long as it needs to be for the amount of weight that's on the dumbbell. And then another benefit is something that you just saw and something that I mentioned on the dumbbell ranking video, and that is that these dumbbells adjust extremely quickly. So you saw me go all the way from 80 pounds max weight all the way down to 5 pounds, and just as a quick test, I'll see how long it takes me. I'll wait till my watch hits 30 here. Took me 2.5 seconds to go from 5 pounds all the way up to 80 pounds. And while on my dumbbell ranking video, I gave the Iron Master kind of the tie for the top spot. You'll have to watch that video to see exactly what I mean by that, because they feel very good in the hands. They feel like fixed dumbbells. They're very expandable. If you get all the expansions, they go all the way up to 180 pounds a piece. But the one drawback to the Iron Masters is how long they take to change out. They don't take a huge amount of time. They don't take quite as long as spin lock dumbbells, for example, but they do still take, a good 30 seconds to change out all 4 sides. And that's even if you're just making a 5-pound jump. To where if you're making a 5-pound jump with the Nuobells, like that's a 5-pound jump. You're going to need to make another 5-pound jump. You're going to make another 5-pound jump. Another 5-pound jump. And it's just that easy. So if you're the type of person that you like to do a lot of supersets or a lot of drop sets, and so you need to go from a tricep extension where you might be using 50 pounds to a bicep curl where you might be using 35 pounds, you can superset those without having to worry about the weight change. You can drop them in there, click, 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 pull them out, and you're good to go. You're not, as much as I love the Iron Masters, and I did give them the tie for the #1 spot in that ranking video, you are not going to be doing supersets or circuits or drop sets with those dumbbells. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to really take these things through their paces. I'm going to use the Nuobells for all of my workouts over the next few weeks, and then I'll come back with my final thoughts on these dumbbells with the second part of the video. final review, with adjustable dumbbells, there are 5 categories to consider: feel and form factor, adjustment speed, maximum load, build quality and durability, and the price. And as you'll see in this review, when it comes to adjustable dumbbells, there are always trade-offs, and you cannot be the best at all 5 categories. I've been using the Nuobells almost exclusively over the past couple of weeks, and I've gotten probably about 100 sets under my belt with these, so I have a pretty good feel for where these fit into each of those 5 categories. So getting into the final review, the first category that we'll touch on is feel and form factor. This is one of the categories that the Nuobells really shines in because they have a single post design, so they feel like traditional fixed dumbbells. The handle is a straight, fully knurled handle, which I feel is the superior design, and very few adjustable dumbbells have this design. Even most fixed dumbbells don't have this. Traditional hex dumbbells are usually contoured and partially knurled. Also, as I mentioned earlier, the weights drop off the end versus fixed length adjustable dumbbells like Olympic dumbbell handles or Bowflex dumbbells. They're only as long as they need to be, which is important for some exercises. They're also very comfortable sitting on your knees when you're getting ready for a dumbbell bench. There is the plastic tab that sticks out, which I thought would be uncomfortable, but it sticks out so little that I never noticed it was even there. I can't necessarily say that the Nuobells win in this category because there are a couple of other options out there that also feel like fixed dumbbells, but I could say that they probably tie for the top spot in this category. Adjustment speed. As I demonstrated at the beginning of this video, the Nuobells are the fastest changing dumbbells on the market that I'm aware of. They're faster than Power Blocks, Snowed, Ironmaster, Bowflex, and they're definitely faster than traditional spin lock dumbbells or Olympic dumbbell handles. Because they adjust by twisting the handles, you don't even have to take your hands off the dumbbells if you're doing a drop set or a superset. And since the Nuobells have a nice audible and tactile click with each adjustment, you can adjust both dumbbells at the same time without even having to look, which is gonna be your best friend if you put a large emphasis on doing drop sets or supersets or circuits in your training. Maximum load. At a maximum load of 80 pounds, this is an area where the Nuobells kind of fall in the middle of the pack. They do beat out a lot of adjustable dumbbell options that top out at around 50 pounds, but they do lose out to the Bowflex and the Power Block Elites, which top out at 90 pounds. They just barely beat out the base kit of the Ironmasters, but the Ironmasters are expandable all the way up to 180 pounds per dumbbell, whereas the Nuobells will always only be 80 pounds. 80 pounds is certainly enough weight for the vast majority of people out there. However, I know a lot of my viewers fit into the categories of powerlifters or bodybuilders or strongmen, and 80 pounds is certainly not enough weight for most people who fit into those particular categories, even at higher rep ranges. And as another point of comparison, there's also the Power Block Pros, which go all the way up to 175 pounds per dumbbell, but at a price of $2,139, that's not even a fair comparison. Build quality and durability. The Nuobells have better build quality than most adjustable dumbbells out there in some areas, but worse quality in other areas. Earlier, I talked about the knurled handle. Most adjustable dumbbells have rubber handles, or if they do have a knurled handle, it's only a partially knurled handle. The plates also stack very tightly, which adds to the durability. There are plastic tabs and plastic recesses on the plates that slot the weights together, but I don't foresee that being a durability issue. That said, you definitely should not drop these dumbbells because I don't see these being as drop proof as a hex dumbbell, or certainly not as drop proof as the Ironmaster dumbbells. Additionally, there are a couple of places where I do see potential durability and longevity issues. There's a lot of plastic on the cradles. There is the broken piece that I showed at the beginning of this video, and it hasn't caused any issues so far. And in fact, I actually forgot that it had the broken piece on there until I was going to write the final review, and I don't foresee this causing any issues in the future. However, it does go to kind of prove that point that plastic isn't necessarily the most durable option that you could put on this cradle. The amount of flex is small enough that I don't know that this necessarily poses a longevity or durability issue, but they could have improved this design without really spending much more money if they would have just made a 45-degree wedge for the end cap. So just kind of come down off the end instead of being straight up and down, and make a wedge shape right here to add a little bit of extra durability without taking up much more space at all, and would probably only cost a few more cents to do it that way. There's also a plastic push pin that inserts into the bottom of the dumbbell and allows the handle to turn to make the adjustments. If this pin breaks, you no longer have functional dumbbells. I don't think that this will ever happen as long as you're slotting the dumbbells back in correctly. However, if it does somehow break, then you no longer have functioning dumbbells. This brings me to my next issue, which is that they mis-slot somewhat easily. Not all the time, maybe 1 out of every 5 times that I've re-racked these dumbbells, they've mis-slotted. They don't mis-slot in such a way that I think you're gonna be in danger of breaking those pins anytime you go to re-rack the weights. It's just a little bit of a minor annoyance if you get done with a heavy set and you're close to failure and you need to re-rack the weights real quick, and then you have to pick it back up and let it back down in there so that the weights slot back together correctly. Overall, I don't think the longevity will be an issue, but only time will tell. Price. The Nuobells are on the upper end of the price spectrum at $745 for the 80-pound pair without a stand, which costs an additional $195. Comparing the Nuobells to the other 2 adjustable dumbbell systems that I think you should consider, the 90-pound set of the Power Block Elites cost $597, also without a stand, which is an additional $139. And the 75-pound Iron Master base kit is $749, does come with a stand, and as I mentioned earlier, is expandable up to 180 pounds. And for the time being, there's also the bonus category of availability. At the time of recording, which is August 9th, 2021, the Iron Master dumbbells are still consistently out of stock, and the only way that you can actually get them is to enter their lottery drawing and hope to be picked to be allowed to purchase them. The Power Block Elites are also consistently staying out of stock, and the Nuobells, at least for the time being, are in stock. Ignoring the stock issue, which of these 3 sets of dumbbells do I actually think is the best? And the answer to that question is, I really think it just depends on the individual and what you're looking for. Do you need more than 80 pounds? Do you need more than 90 pounds? Well, then the Iron Masters are probably going to be the best option for you. Do you heavily utilize drop sets, supersets, and circuits in your training, and you want the absolute fastest changing dumbbells on the market? The Nuobells might be for you. If you want a set of dumbbells that changes out pretty quickly and you don't mind sacrificing the knurled handle and the traditional dumbbell feel, then the Power Block Elites might be for you. Each of these 3 sets of dumbbells kind of fit right there neck and neck in the 1, 2, and 3 spot, and whatever you specifically are looking for and whatever you put the most value in is going to determine which of those 3 sets of dumbbells takes that number 1 spot for you. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you hate it, give it a thumbs down. If you want to check out the Iron Master dumbbell review, you can click here. If you want to check out the home gym tour I did last week, you can click here. As always, God bless you and your family, and we'll see you next week. As I demonstrated in the initial impressions portion of this video, the Nuobell portion of this video, the Iron Master, nope, this is not the Iron Master, this isn't even what this video is about.